And welcome to the Open Door for another edition of Cape Ann Today. I'm your host, Kory Curcuru, alongside, as always, Heather Atwood. How are you, Heather?
I'm fine. Kory, how are you?
This is great.
It's great.
Yeah.
Pre-holiday show.
I know.
Yes, now, right?
Yeah, and so what I like is we do a little holiday tradition now that I hope we can continue. Just before Thanksgiving every year, we visit the Open Door to find out all the things they have going on because it's a lot.
I was going to say they have everything going on.
Yeah, so thankfully, Executive Director Julie Lafontaine is here with us today to sort of give us the A to Z on everything happening on, not as only as today busy, Julie, but really this is almost like a month-long Super Bowl for you.
You're right, Kory and Heather, welcome. We're so glad to have you here. It harkens back to our pre-pandemic show, inaugural show in the warehouse. It is a busy time of the year, and you can just feel the hustle and bustle when you walk through the building. We're getting turkeys ready to go out, and of course we're getting ready for our food drive tomorrow, and it is Thanksgiving food drive. With a little bit of a twist. This year we are serious about cereal. And that's a little bit corny, but you know, behind you see a wide array of cereal, and it's a little bit different this year in that we're focusing in on cereal more than any other food item. People really have a favorite cereal that they like to have on the table in the morning, and as we know, breakfast is the most important meal of the day. And so to really have a drive that focuses in on getting our warehouse and our shelves stocked with cereal choices to connect people with that nutritious breakfast to get the day started.
Yeah.
Now, Julie, is this a sort of just a nice decision in terms of what you're asking for in this food drive, or is there a supply chain issue? That's my question.
You know, Heather, you bring up a really good point. We are looking at supply chain issues across the food industry, across every industry, really. And so thinking about the months to come, knowing that we need to keep cereal supplied for all the households that we serve, we thought this would be a really great way to focus in the energy on one item that would really move the needle and make a difference for us to be able to meet the need that's here.
So what are the particulars of tomorrow's cereal drive?
So tomorrow we're having a cereal drive. We're going to be at 6 different locations. We're in Gloucester at Market Basket, and we have the Community Impact Unit along with We Are All in This Together.
Oh, nice.
Holding down the fort up there. They're stuffing a cruiser with your cereal donations from 9 to 3. We'll also be at Stop and Shop and Shaw's here in Gloucester. We'll be at the Shaw's in Ipswich with the Ipswich Police Department also stuffing a cruiser. There seems to be a theme here. The Manchester Essex Rotary will be at Crosby's in Manchester, and they will be filling up one of our Sprinter vans. And then last but certainly not least, over at Market Basket in Rowley, we're teaming up again with the Ipswich YMCA and Accord Food Pantry to really bring home the cereal for that location.
And we want to clarify, so in the Shaws, is that the Eastern Ave Shaws in Gloucester,
Yes,
right?
thank you for that clarification. Yes, there are 2 Shaws in Gloucester, and we're focused in on the Eastern Ave Shaws tomorrow.
Okay. And so this is 9 to 3 across all the supermarkets?
9 to 3, and it's easy. You can drive up and drop off cereal. You can go shopping and pick up a couple extra boxes of cereal, and there will be volunteers there to collect your donations as you come out the door.
So Julie, then what happens? Like, obviously, you have a big campus here, tons of volunteers and staff. You collect all of this stuff from a food drive. What happens to that box of Cheerios from the moment it's picked up from, say, this community impact unit and brought here?
So we're the end of the supply chain, really getting it and connecting it to the user. And so as the food comes in, it'll go into our warehouse and it will be stored and then sorted by volunteers, and then it will go into our online ordering inventory system so that folks who are placing their grocery orders can log in and they'll be able to see under cereal all the cereal choices that we have.
Now, tell us about that, this online ordering system, because that's new this year, right?
So the pandemic birthed many things, and one of the things that it did for the Open Door was leapfrog us forward about 5 years in technology to make sure that we are staying in step with the way that everyone gets their groceries. Lots of people shop on Peapod or Instacart or an online shopping platform.
So smart, this
And why not the pantry? We strive to make sure that we're providing food in a socially acceptable way, and what better way to do that than to give this online ordering option. So folks can log in. It looks very much like when you shop at any online grocery cart. You can make your selections, you choose your time, and then you can pick up your groceries. Now, you might ask me, what happens if I can't, I'm not computer savvy, or I don't have a computer, or I don't have access? We have a Cracker Jack dispatch team that's on the phones assisting people with placing their orders. We have actually or on-demand translation services in over 170 languages.
Wow.
And so we've helped people place orders in Nepali. We had some Swahili. And then we have a lot of Spanish and Portuguese. And we actually have a team member on staff who's fluent in both Spanish and Portuguese. And another team member who's fluent in just Spanish. So we can really kind of got the bases covered with that.
That's great.
I happen to notice on your site you actually have Spanish and Portuguese tabs, so they can go through the whole process in their language, right?
Absolutely. And so the Open Door really wants to be inclusive in all ways, and one of the ways that we're inclusive, especially around food, is making sure that we're giving equal access to the food to people, and that means presenting choices in a language that's understood.
Julie, how has it been navigating through the pandemic now? Just the needs for the community, have they been exacerbated by COVID, and how have you met those demands?
So the pandemic certainly packed a punch to lots of pocketbooks throughout the pandemic, and people are still recovering. We saw an early spike in need. We talked a lot about that during the pandemic on the times that I was on the show. And I just felt like we were really basically trying to build the plane while we were flying it, just to stay ahead of the need. We have started to level off and drop back to pre-pandemic numbers, but we are seeing people really impacted, especially in the hospitality industry. Once you get in a hole, it's hard to climb back out again. And so we think the road to recovery will be will be going on for a while.
Right.
Now, I just love the idea of this. I want to go back to the online ordering.
Mm-hmm.
So do you feel as if that's one of those things that came out of COVID that has changed the whole experience here and made it a better one? Or is it just, well, this is what we have to do now, and we prefer to have people coming in the door?
Heather, that's a great question. I really think that in the long run, it's a win-win for everyone. It allows not only for individuals to be accessing their food in a socially acceptable and safe way with COVID protocols, but also our partners. They can go online and actually place their orders for the food, and it makes it just easier all the way around.
Right. And you do offer some delivery, right?
We do.
Yeah.
So we do have a delivery program for people who, for a variety of reasons, are unable to get here.
So now today is an especially busy day too, as we're prepping the holiday gift baskets. Do you want to talk about that for a little bit?
Sure. So we can shift from the cereal food drive
Yeah.
over to actually getting out the food that makes the Thanksgiving meal for people around the table. And as we know, food is so much more than food. It's family tradition, it's a sense of belonging, it's memories, it's all of the things that make up a lifetime. And so to be able to provide a turkey and all of the fixings so that people can create their own recipes, share food around the table with their own people, it has been long a goal of the Open Door. Between November and December, we provide between 2,100 and 2,200 holiday baskets for individuals to eat at home. And then we work with community partners, including the American Legion, that will actually cook meals here in our kitchen on Thanksgiving Day for distribution to people who don't have the wherewithal to cook their own meal.
Right.
So busy. So we are going to be talking to Adam Curcuru, and he's going to tell us about your new mobile market. But do you want to introduce that idea? Because that's a new innovation this year, right? Your new truck.
Sure. So, I think when I talked to you before, one thing that we've learned is to expect surprises, and that our solutions will be our assets. And one of the assets besides the online ordering system is a brand new farmer's truck. That really takes our mobile market and puts it on wheels. We can go out to hard-to-reach corners of the community or targeted partners like the veterans, where we launched the program last week, and make sure that we're getting fresh food out to people who need to connect with it. And it's a great way for us to expand the mission and continue to connect people to good food.
I love that hard to reach corners of the community. Yeah. So where's the truck going? The veteran services, where else?
So Actually, the Open Door serves 10 cities and towns. We have 2 food pantries, one in Gloucester and one in Ipswich. And we work with local schools, we work with public housing neighborhoods, we work with senior centers, the Veterans Center, and we also are going to North Shore Community College, Danvers, and Lynn campuses.
That's wonderful.
That's great. So, Julie, can you stick around with us for the hour, and so we can bring you back on and talk a little bit more about the Open Door?
I sure can. And happy Thanksgiving to both of you.
Oh, thanks so much for
you.
doing this and hosting us. I mean, we love being here, especially this time of year. Oh, and if people want to learn more about the Open Door or help out in any way, how can they go about doing that?
So helping out is easier than ever. You can give a little or you can give a lot. Go to foodpantry.org and you can make a donation there or look for volunteer opportunities.
Beautiful.
Wonderful.
Okay.
Great.
Thank you for your
Thank you
time.
so
All right,
much.
we'll see you in just a little bit.
Okay.
This is Julie Lafontaine. She is the Executive Director of the Open Door. We are coming at you live from the Open Door today, right on Emerson Ave in Gloucester for a special Thanksgiving episode of Cape Ann Today.
It's kind of a tradition. We've been with Julie, well, pre-COVID.
Yeah.
Did we do we didn't do a COVID
No,
show.
now
We interviewed
this
her.
is technically in COVID now too.
Yeah,
So
it is,
pre-COVID,
right, yeah.
COVID, and then we'll be here post-COVID as well.
Whenever that is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, let's bring up our next guest. This is Susan Coviela of the North Shore Health Project. It's
Hi,
great to have you
Susan.
here, Susan.
Hey, thank you so much for having me. This
Yeah.
is so fun.
How are you?
Yeah, exactly.
I'm great, thanks. How are you?
I'm great.
Good.
So, Susan, right off the top, for those who are unaware of the North Shore Health Project, if there are those out there, can you just sort of give us the A to Z on what that's all about?
Sure. So the North Shore Health Project offers support services for people who have HIV and/or AIDS, hepatitis C, and substance use disorder. We offer case management. We offer testing for the general public. Anyone can come and be tested for Hep C, HIV, and STDs. We also have Narcan. We are a Narcan supplier for both Gloucester, Greater Cape Ann, as well as all the way out to Salisbury and Haverhill. And we are a needle exchange program. So we take in used syringes and we replace them with clean syringes for folks to take along with them. We are a true harm reduction model. We meet people where they're at and we help them along their journey, and we keep them healthy and safe while they are on their journey. And should they decide to stop using drugs, we also are an avenue to start getting them into some treatment. But we're not a treatment facility per se. We're more of a harm reduction model where we just help people be healthy and safe while they're on their drug journey.
So just to keep on subject, I think we should ask you to identify the places, like where your headquarters are, where the
Sure.
needle exchange program is, where
Sure.
the testing is. Do you want to say
Yep. So we are at 5 and 9 Center Street. So it's the buildings are right next to each other. We're right across from the dog grooming
Canine
place.
Cuts.
Canine Cuts. And the barber shop is right there,
Yeah.
around the corner from Passports, right off of Main Street. Our 5 Center Street location is primarily for our HIV clients. That's how we started in 1988, helping people with HIV and AIDS. That's where the Health Project had its origins. And then 9 Center Street is where we do the testing, the syringe exchange, Narcan exchange as well. We also have a mobile van. We have a grant through Mass Heals, which is funded by Boston Medical Center. And we have a mobile van, and we use that van in Gloucester. We go to certain places in Gloucester where we know folks are going to be, where if they're not comfortable coming right downtown. And then we also go to Salisbury and Haverhill and Ipswich. Additionally, with that money and with a substance abuse grant, we also do overdose follow-ups in Essex, Manchester, Ipswich, Beverly, Haverhill, and possibly Salisbury. We're trying to get into Salisbury with overdose follow-ups, working with their local police departments to give folks what they need once they have had an overdose recovery, sort of help them continue to be safe and healthy.
So there is really horrific news about drug overdose deaths in this country right now. Do you want to talk about that and what you're seeing in the community?
Sure. So, yes, unfortunately, it's not what it, the heroin that folks have been using is not what it used to be. And very often it's laced with fentanyl. People don't realize that it's got fentanyl in it, which is much more devastating than for an overdose than it is if you're just using heroin. And so people are using it unknowingly. They're unknowingly getting heroin that has fentanyl in it. We also, there's a bit of there's a bit of a stigma and a fear of being caught doing something illegal. So sometimes when there's an overdose, people, you're supposed to call 911, and you really do need to call 911. Narcan will revive the person, but if you don't get them help, they could go back into overdose, and it's really very important that they go to the emergency room to be checked out for their general overall health and to make sure that they come out and they're not going to relapse back into the overdose. There are people who are afraid to call. Naturally, they're afraid to call 911. So unfortunately, sometimes those instances will result in a fatal overdose. People are using alone. COVID has had a real impact, a very negative impact on everybody, right? But certainly for people who use drugs, they have been isolating because they know they can't really go out and socialize much. So they're people using alone, and that is also a dangerous precedent.
And I was going to ask how the health project's navigating through the pandemic. How stressed is the staff?
Oh, well, we've had a lot of turnover.
Yeah.
In March of 2020, right, everything closed down and we had to close our doors. We were an essential operation, so we could technically stay open, but we couldn't let clients come in. We just didn't know nobody knew what was going on. Everybody had to close down. We did our case management, so Brian King of What Time Is It, Mr. Fox, is our HIV case manager, and he and Jason Brisboy, who is our assistant director at the Health Project, they continue to reach out to the HIV clients and the Hep C clients through phone calls and Zoom meetings, and they really tried to keep a very close connection with our clients, which is difficult. Even more difficult was reaching folks from the one-stop program for the harm reduction program. We try to supply folks with telephones for we have a large population that is unstably housed at the one-stop program. So keeping in contact with people who don't necessarily have a phone or all of a sudden had nowhere to charge their phones because they're homeless and they can't come into the health project or the library or anywhere to plug their phones in to charge them to make sure that when they're out in the woods at night, if they need something, they can get it. It was a very difficult time for us, but we managed to keep the doors open. We are coming back into a somewhat normal situation right now. Keep our fingers crossed. Wednesday, we had our Thanksgiving meal that is lovingly provided by Fred Cowan, who supports our Thanksgiving meal. We had about 35 clients in having a meal. What could be their only Thanksgiving meal all together as a health project family, and that was really a wonderful thing.
Very nice. And Susan, what sort of work does the project do with the Open Door? Because Julie asked us to invite you onto the show specifically to talk about.
Sure. So and this is another going back to our COVID protocol again, we have long gotten groceries from the Open Door. Groceries are available to anybody who comes to the Open Door who needs them. Our clients, many of them, it's a difficult trek for them to get here, physically to get here. And as folks come in for case management or holistics or whatever they're coming into the health project for, it made sense for us to have a little grocery store there. So we get weekly groceries from the Open Door, and then we are able to give our clients groceries, right? So it's one-stop shopping for them.
Right.
And if they come in for groceries, then if they haven't done an assessment or we just need to check in with them, we're able to do that because it's a hook. The food is a little bit of a hook, and it's also a much needed benefit for them.
Yeah.
I will say that for our unstably housed clients, cereal is great because you don't need to cook it. You don't need to add anything to it. You can eat it out of the box. Many things that are donated are really donated with the idea of people being able to access some way to cook it or to heat it up or to, so sometimes that's difficult. So anything that is pre-made, you don't need to heat it up. You don't need to cook it. You don't need to add anything to it. It is always a wonderful donation for people who are unstably housed. And then during COVID, during those 20 months or forever, I can't remember how many months it was, 1,000, we also delivered groceries weekly. So Jason and or Brian would go out and deliver groceries to our clients who couldn't get out of the house.
Wow.
So is there anything the community can do to support you, particularly going into the holidays, into the winter?
Sure,
Yeah.
sure. That's a great question. We accept donations. We get a lot of our money from the state. We have 2 large state contracts with the Department of Public Health and the Bureau of Substance Addiction Services, and we're so grateful for that. That covers our overhead. But it doesn't cover things like groceries and food and client transportation, if we need to get somebody to a detox or something. So we are always accepting monetary donations. We will start looking for volunteers again now that we're somewhat out and up and running. We also love information about the difficulties that the community find with the drug-using population. For example, we were at a Friends of Dogtown meeting last night talking about syringes, et cetera, that they're finding up in Dogtown. So that is an ongoing issue. I will say that since July 1st, we have collected 80,000 syringes. And that's
Wow.
just
Oh my
since July
gosh.
1st.
Oh my gosh.
People bringing them to us in exchange, and also just, being mindful of, the collection of syringes. So we're always looking for that sort of helpful information so that we can help keep the entire community safe, not just our drug-using population, to make sure that we are respectful in the entire community and the greater community to keep the entire area safe and healthy.
Wow, what
Thank
a
you
big
for
tip of
that.
the cap to your group.
Yeah,
So Susan, if
exactly.
people want to learn
Thank
more
you.
about the North Shore Health Project, how can they go about doing that?
So I'd love for them to stop by 5 Center Street. We're always willing to show people around now that we're open. You have to wear a mask. We are a public health agency, so we're required to wear masks in our spot still. But you can also go to www.healthproject.org and learn more about us, and there's a donation portal on the website.
Very
Wonderful.
nice.
Thank you so much for coming.
Thanks for having me. Thank you very much. Happy Thanksgiving.
Thank you,
Thank
Susan,
you.
so much.
Good
We
luck to all
appreciate
your
your
team.
service to the
Thank you.
community. Yes, the Susan Coviela of the North Shore Health Project. Once again, Heather and I are coming at you from the Open Door for a special Thanksgiving episode of Cape Ann today. I learned a lot in that interview, actually.
That North Shore Health Project is an amazing,
Amazing work.
organization. Yeah.
Unbelievable. So we have another amazing organization
yes, we
here.
do.
They happen to be next door
Wonderful
neighbors. This is from Cape Ann Veterans Services. Adam Curcuru is about to join us. Come on in, cuz.
Hey, Kory, how are you?
Hi,
are you?
Adam.
Nice to see you
Nice
both.
to see you.
again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good
Are
to
you
see
guys
you, man.
actually cousins?
We are.
He actually can figure it out.
Yeah, yeah.
I have a harder time, but
I
he
just
can-
give the simple overview. If it ends in AEIOU, we're all related.
yeah, we look exactly alike.
We look
Okay.
very similar. Yeah.
I think I'm cousins, more cousin to him than you are, frankly. Yeah. But
Well,
great
Adam,
to have you.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for having me today.
Obviously, a special time of year. What specifically are you doing at the Veterans Center like right now as you prepare for Thanksgiving and the winter?
Sure. So the big one's not necessarily with our office. It's with Open Door and the Captain Lester S. Wass American Legion, and the Legion meals that now happen in partnership with the Open Door here, which has been such a great partnership. And I wish I had 4 hours to tell you how great the partnership is with Open Door and all the things we've been able to do with Open Door. But that's the big one coming up from the veterans community, is the veterans community leading the meals program to get meals out to those in our community that are in need of a Thanksgiving meal. Not just in need, but those that want one. Sometimes when you live alone, buying a whole turkey is a bit much. And, the Legion is there to cook those meals and deliver a healthy, thankful Thanksgiving meal to, I believe it's 6 communities that surround us.
Wow.
So Julie told us a little bit about this, but tell us the logistics. So it's actually Thanksgiving Day, your team is cooking the meal, or the Legion is cooking the
The
meal.
Legion is cooking meals. They get volunteers from our community, and it used to be at the Legion, and it was a wonderful program because not only did it do good for our community, but it taught a lot of individuals about doing something and giving back. I mean, the real meaning of Thanksgiving is being thankful for what we have and helping others appreciate what we have and giving back to people. And so you had a lot of volunteers pre-COVID. And the great thing was a lot of families came down. So they gave a couple hours in the morning to put
Peel
the meals,
potatoes
to
and
peel
peel carrots
potatoes,
and-
to,
yeah.
to get the food ready, to put them in the little styrofoam containers. The Sea Cadets was huge in that
Yeah.
program because
Right.
they would bring the boxes down from the upstairs at the Legion down to the cars, and then people would go deliver them. And they're still doing that now, but it's a little different now. The drivers are masked and the drivers are outside, and there's a little There's more safety protocols than there was before, but there's still that learning and there's still that experience as a community to come together and do something together and really just celebrate the true meaning of Thanksgiving, of being together and, taking care of each other.
And how would a veteran contact you to say, I would love to have a Thanksgiving meal delivered?
Sure. So they can contact the American Legion directly. I don't have that number off the top of my head, and they can call the Legion and they will put them down for a meal. They'll ask them for their address and their number, and they will call when they arrive and deliver that meal.
That's great.
Interesting. So what else is happening now as you prepare for it? We talked a bit about
The farm truck.
Yeah, the farmer's
The farm
truck.
truck coming too.
That was big. That
Yeah.
was huge. So we were so excited when Julie reached out to us. She said, hey, Veterans Day just happened. We're getting the new farmer's truck. We'd like to dedicate it at your office. Absolutely. Open Door has been so good to us.
Yeah.
And this one is just, from a community perspective, such a great idea to, and as Julie said earlier, hit those hard corners of the community.
Exactly.
Open Door is wonderful if you can access it, but we know there's members in our community that can't get here, and that mobile market has the ability to be mobile and to get to those hard to reach individuals. Veterans community is very unique. They sometimes like to use, well, someone could use it more. Well, if everybody had that mentality, no one's using it. And the mobile market was a great start because, again, a lot of our veterans, at least the ones that were there, are a little older. And they're choosing some of the less healthy alternative foods. And Open Door isn't just for those that are, in food crisis. It's for those to choose healthier options as well. It's a
They're
community-based
great at doing
resource.
that, making sure that they're healthy options.
Healthy options is the key there.
Right.
And it was funny because when we dedicated the mobile market, everyone's like, well, what do we do now? It's like, well, now you get some groceries. Wait, we get to take some? Yeah, go grab some. And Julie brought down Market Basket gift cards, so they got a nice gift card. And it was great was because we're kind of where we're located. We have Lincoln Park and we have people that live on the other side, and they saw this all going on. So slowly you saw a couple people trickle out of Lincoln Park and a couple people trickle out of their houses across the street and come join in and grab their groceries. And it sticks out. It stands out in the community. This thing rolls up. There's a food truck, and they open the door, and there's just fresh fruits and vegetables. I think they had eggs. It was good.
And this is a Ford, like an F450, right?
Yeah, it was big.
It's a
It's a
big-
big.
yeah.
It's a big box truck.
Yeah.
And is it refrigerated, I think? Is that one of the assets? It's
don't
got
know.
some
I
sort
think
of...
there's in the back. There's some black containers that may be refrigerators.
Yeah, I think that's
I'm
another
assuming
thing that makes it fancy.
It's
Yeah.
just a nice truck.
Yeah.
But it is, Open Door is just such a great partner to everybody in the community.
So what's been the response? I mean, you sort of like covered it now, but from the veterans, knowing, because the truck will show up once a month, is that
We're
right?
working on the plan now to have
Okay.
it show up, and we went back today during our Veterans Networking Group, which we hold on Fridays, and that's the plan, is to try to get the mobile truck there on when we kind of have our largest population of veterans there, and see what they're, and they all seem interested, yeah. If it was on a schedule, I'd love to have the fresh fruits and vegetables. They were so good. I can't believe they filled a bag last week, and they really want to take advantage of that, so.
So I would love to hear just a little bit before you go about the population of veterans on Cape Ann. So what range of ages are they? What are you feeling like their needs are right now? How do they do through COVID?
Sure. It's been tough for everyone. Obviously, we're well aware of, the reasons why. Both the physical aspects that are related to COVID. A lot of our veterans population is older. They're 60 plus. And then you add in the toll that kind of Sue talked about a little bit before, the mental health aspect of being distant from people and what that does. We've learned with our veterans community, one of the pieces of solving the puzzle to a lot of our community-based problems is interaction. People need interaction. It doesn't matter what
Connection,
group
yeah.
you come from. One of the the starting foundations to healing is being connected. And COVID really kind of put a separation between that. So it's been a tough year for our veterans community moving forward. But it's a variety of all. And they all have their different aspects of what they're coming in for. We still have World War II. We still have a couple World War II veterans in our Cape Ann community, Korean War. they're up there in age. They're in their 90s. We have our biggest population is that Vietnam generation, and then we still have incoming younger families and everyone in between. And everybody's kind of on a different level of their journey, where they are in their stages of life and what they're looking for resources. And we're there to guide them regardless of where they are, whether they're recently getting out and looking for education or employment, or whether they're trying to put together an end-of-life plan and some arrangements there. We're there for everything in between to help navigate and to assist the veteran and their families during those times.
Well, good on you, Adam. So if people want to help out immediately, whether it's for the Thanksgiving holiday specifically, how can they go about doing that? And then I want to ask you one quick question after
Sure.
that. Too.
To support the holiday meals, they can call the Legion or Open Door and make a donation to that. And again, that is not a veteran-specific program. That is a community-based program, and it really shows a lot of our community and everybody's willingness to give. And it's a great partnership. So yeah, if they wanted to give, that's the route I would take, is to reach out to Open Door, to the American Legion, and donate to that wonderful Thanksgiving meal program that they'll be running on Thursday.
Gotcha. And I was with you a couple of weeks ago where you were talking about the Boulevard flags, which, by the way, is a
Yes.
great gift and supports a lot of great causes, too. But also, while I was there, you were hosting a Veterans Coffee. Could you
were.
just talk about that for a little bit and how people can learn more?
Sure. So Veterans Coffees are on Fridays. It's a veterans networking group, and again, it's the idea of bringing veterans together, regardless of when they served, why they served. We have a connection to build that socialization aspect. We often have different groups come in, talk about what's going on in the community, give them an overview. I like to think of it almost deputizing all our community members, because, between Sue and I and Julie, we're not going to run into every community member and be able to share all this stuff. And unfortunately, 1623, not everybody's going to be watching. We can't hit everybody, but we can deputize people to know what's going on in our community. And that's kind of the intent, just get that information out there. So those hard to reach individuals, hopefully we'll get in touch with somebody and make that connection and share those resources. So we have it every Friday. It's a program the VA is trying to pick up on at a national level and implement it across the country to create these veterans, they're calling them coffee socials, to get veterans together with resources and to share in that camaraderie.
Great stuff. All right, Adam, people want to learn more about
Yes.
Cape Ann Veteran Services. How can they go about doing that?
They can give us a call. Our old number is 978-281-9740. I haven't learned our new number we have yet, so that's the only one I can give out. I have that one dialed in my head, but not the new one yet.
Perfect. Well,
Yeah.
Thanks for spending some time with us. Thanks for all the work that you do and your service for the community. And I'm sure we're going to catch up soon down the road.
Yeah, and thank you guys both
Thank
for
you so
doing
much.
this. This is great. And happy Thanksgiving if I don't see
Same
you.
to
Thanks,
you.
Adam.
Hope to
Thank
see
you.
you
All right,
again.
cheers,
Yes.
bud. Okay, that's Adam Curcuru of Cape Ann Veteran Services. One thing that he pointed out is he talked about their partnership with the Open Door. And when we were putting the show together, we wanted to sort of show how special Emerson Ave is here in Gloucester. We have the Open Door, of course, Cape Ann Veterans Center. Just across the street is Pathways and Element Care.
Yeah.
And Diane Wood from Element Care is about to join us now. Morning, Diane. How are
Diane.
you? Nice to see you.
Thanks
Well,
for being
very
here.
nice to be here. Thank you so much.
Yeah,
Did you
and-
cross the street to get here?
I walked all the way over.
Well, thank you for coming. Yeah.
Diane, you are the center manager for
Yes.
the Emerson Ave location?
Yes.
Correct? Yeah. So what does that title entail? What do your duties include?
So I basically just oversee the operations of the site. So I've been with Element Care for over 16 years. So essentially, it's just making sure that if something is broken, it gets fixed. If there's a staff issue, that we work together with the other departments. So we have great staff. We have a very diverse staff. So it's just coordinating all of the things. I lead some team meetings in the mornings. We talk about what happened overnight, since we cover all of our participants through the overnight via an on-call system. So unlike other healthcare programs, we actually follow them 24/7.
So tell us, let's back up and
Yeah.
say, what does Element Care do? What are the services you provide and to whom?
Okay, so
Thanks.
all of our participants are 55 or older. They need to be eligible for nursing home placement, which sounds dire, but essentially it means they need assistance with 2 or more activities of daily living, which can be personal care, meal prep, shopping, bathing, money management, things like that. Medication management is a big one, or mismanagement. So you need to be eligible in that regard. And then there's a financial component. So 99.9% of our participants are Mass Health eligible. So we are a dually waivered program where people can use their Medicare benefits and their Mass Health benefits. And we use those, we pull them all together to provide services to all of our participants. So essentially we cover everything that you would medically need. So even things that are like over-the-counter meds, nutrition supplements like Ensure or Boost, we provide all of those. We provide incontinence products. So all the things, they come and we provide them all the time, including we order meals. All these wonderful organizations that have come before me on your program today also benefit our participants. So we have a day program, which of course was very affected by the pandemic, since we also had to sort of shut down, and there was only essential people, myself and 2 nurses and some PCSs, personal care specialists, and then the other team worked remotely. But so
you have a medical staff. So
it's
you're
completely, yes.
Yeah, so your patients, your clients are seeing your team of medical professionals, doctors and nurses, right?
Yes, so we have a full-time physician, full-time nurse practitioner. We have full-time nurses on site that you each would be assigned to your primary nurse. We have master's prepared social workers. We have physical therapy, occupational therapy, speech therapy, nutrition. We have a registered dietitian on staff, phlebotomist, medical secretary, activities. Who am I forgetting? So so many. We have interpreters. We have some people who, we actually have a large component of Albanian speaking participants.
Oh, interesting.
Yes. So our physician, Dr. Omari, is Albanian speaking. So we have a good portion of our people speak Albanian, but they come from Peabody, Salem, Beverly, and Gloucester.
So, and your clients are, as I understand it, it's people who are trying to remain in their homes and not
Yes.
have to go to long-term care, right?
So the goal is that we will maintain people, despite their eligibility for nursing homes, in the community. So we provide home care services, nursing services, PCS services. We contract with various home care agencies. That market has also been adversely affected by the pandemic because mothers had to, when they were remotely teaching, the mothers had to stay home with their kids, when school was remote. So it still hasn't really come back.
Yeah.
And people were also a little nervous about going into participant homes where people may be sick.
Of course,
There was a lot of fear. So we do provide that. We do home visits. So if somebody is not feeling well and they meet the criteria for, say, for instance, COVID symptoms, we go out immediately and test for COVID. We have that capability, so they don't have to make an appointment, go to, we do all their labs on site.
So it's really comprehensive.
It's totally
Yeah,
comprehensive.
and dental, did you do that?
We do dental,
Right?
we do,
Yeah.
we provide hearing aids, dental, eye care, really everything you would need medically. We provide all their durable medical equipment. And, it's a fabulous program. I'm just like, oh, I can't wait.
Yeah, that's great.
Well, Diane, you talked about how the day program was impacted, right?
Yes.
So as staff over there, how did it impact you to not be able to see those faces every day come in for the program?
So, we have here a lovely little grandpad. So you may see these advertised on TV, on the channels if you happen to watch shows that are from the 50s and 60s like I do. So this is an iPad designed for elders. And so it has the capability for Zoom. So due to the pandemic, we had to adapt quickly. And so providing social interaction and contact with our participants since they couldn't come in. And that was really hard for us because the one wish they had was that they wanted to come to the day program. So with the day program, we would provide like a little breakfast and a lunch and activities, socialization, people form friendships, and also their medical care. But so the grandpad has been fantastically popular. So I would say that 90% of the people in the community have a grandpad.
Really?
And
So you distributed these right away when
we
COVID happened?
quickly contracted with this company and we customized it for our type of participants.
So is Zoom really easy to use on this thing? Because my mother-in-law
It
might
is.
need one.
I might get one. I might get one for myself.
Yeah.
So, yes, so we actually also hired 2 full-time remote activities people to simply do Zoom programming, which includes all kinds of things, exercise, bingo, and
I can play bingo on Zoom over this?
yes.
Oh, that's so
And
funny.
so it's participants from all different sites, so it's not exclusive to the Emerson Ave population.
Right.
So it's a lot of fun, and you can use this as a telephone to call your family. You can store photos. It's really a wonderful device.
Yeah, I
But
can see that.
we do
Large
use it.
print.
And we can do sort of like a video, like if you're sick and you're at home, we use it as like a video telehealth.
Of course,
We
yeah.
can see them and see what
So
they
you can
look
check
like.
in with people.
Correct.
Yeah.
So this
Right.
has been a fantastic innovation that we sort of probably would not necessarily have utilized. We
Right.
had avatars in place for our participants, which is a different type of support system, technology support.
Mm-hmm.
It would allow them to, play music and talk to somebody, but the person was like a remote.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so it was very, very different, and so it was very
Super
limited.
simple, super clear.
This is super.
Yeah.
I can do it. I had a little
Yeah.
lesson before I came. But, so this Grand Pad really keeps people in touch. They can call us on it, we can call them on it. And as I say, we can see them, we play games with them, they play music, it's
So-
really been a fantastic thing.
I keep hearing you say gram pad.
It's
as in-
grand.
Grand. Okay. So I'm
I
like
know.
grandma's
Sorry,
pad.
it's the It kind of is a grandma
Right,
pad.
right.
No. It's called Grand
Okay,
Pad.
okay, that's
Sorry.
good to know.
I know.
It's the
sorry.
mask, but
My
I
enunciation.
think gram pad is pretty good.
Right, it is. I know. I'm thinking of my own mother, but yeah,
Yeah.
getting one. So yes, this is something that we really utilize a lot.
Well, Diane, for folks in the community who don't really know much about Element Care, what do you want to tell them? What do you want them to know?
I'm going to say that this is the best healthcare program that is around. I know that there are certain eligibility requirements, but honestly, I've worked in healthcare for 43 years. And I've worked in many aspects, and this is the absolute best healthcare program I have ever been a part of. It's totally comprehensive. You have such an incredible support system. You have so many people there to help you out, no matter what your needs might be. We deal with, citizenship issues and housing issues, and not just healthcare, not just socialization. So I think it's something that people should take advantage of. It really is such an incredible benefit, and I know people I don't want to leave my primary care physician, but honestly, we've never had anybody regret it. So for
Yeah.
instance, we always say, if you are nervous, you can check in with your primary care physician that you had before you joined, and just make sure that they agree, or that you're comfortable with, they're comfortable with that. And really, they stay, because the services are wonderful, the team is fabulous, and the support is really wonderful too. So, yeah.
Very
And
nice.
helping to keep people in their homes, that's so important.
This is our major, major goal. We really try to respect the participants' requests and staying home.
Yeah.
At
And,
all
and if people want to learn more about Element Care, how can they go about doing that?
So they can contact, I'm cheating. I have this number here.
Yeah.
They can either call 1-877-803-5564 and speak with our information and referral specialist, or they can email info@elementcare.org.
Right. And there's also the website, Element Care.
There's also the Element Care website that you can seek information, or you can just toddle on over to 29A Emerson Ave, walk in and ask me for a tour, and I'll be happy to do it.
There you go. Go see
Great,
Diane,
that's
folks.
great.
Diane Wood, thank you so much
Thank
for spending
you.
time with us. It was great learning a little bit more about Element Care.
Yeah.
Pleasure.
Have a
you
great
so much.
Thanksgiving.
Thanks, you as well.
All right, that is Diane Wood. She is the center manager over at the Emerson Ave campus
Right
for
across the
Element
street.
Care. Yeah, I've done a lot of work over there, Element Care, in years past. They have Olympics. They have Olympic competition.
Oh, I'll get
Those
my
folks have
mother-in-law on that.
I've been in for the day programs. They're fun. They keep people really busy, and they're super enthusiastic, too.
Yeah,
We're over
yeah.
there, too, hanging out with them. So if you
I
love
love
having conversations, you can pop over there for the day program.
Well, maybe I'll do that.
That's great. Okay, what are we doing next, La?
Elise.
Oh, perfect. Oh, yeah, come on
yay.
up, Elise.
Elise Sinagra.
Yeah.
And our old friend.
Yeah, this is Lisa Nugger from the Rose Baker Senior Center. How are you, Elise?
I'm great. It's so great to see you
It's
guys in
great to see
person.
you. I know, it's been
think
a while.
The last time we chatted, it was via Zoom, so it's really nice to see
Yeah,
you in
right.
person.
That's right.
Yeah,
You were
you're a
just
regular on
started
Cape Ann today.
at the Elder Services.
Exactly, when
Yeah.
I just started at the Gloucester Council on Aging. Yeah.
Yes, right,
Yeah.
right, yeah.
How have you been?
I have been great. How about you, Kory? How about you,
Great.
Heather?
Good, good,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, getting ready for the holidays. So what are you doing? What's the group doing? How to prepare for I guess the holidays are in the winter season.
Yeah, well, preparing for the holidays, really with Thanksgiving, of course, being around the corner, kind of mirrors a lot of what Adam had said. We're working very closely with the Legion's effort to get those Thanksgiving dinners, to people in their homes. We're actually collecting that information too, and we collect it and then give it, a bunch of those names of people that want to sign up. We get that over to Attorney Nestor, who kind of leads up that effort for the Legion. And referring people mostly to the Open Door. When people call us who express any kind of food insecurity or any kind of stress at all about obtaining what they want, if they are inclined to want to make a Thanksgiving dinner at home, then we send them to the Open Door and we help them to do whatever they need to do to get signed up for that. Yeah.
Now, is the Rose Baker Center open for activities and things like that?
The Rose Baker Center is open, so just to kind of just to take a little bit of step back, the Rose Baker Senior Center is part of the Gloucester Council on Aging, and the Gloucester Council on Aging's mission is to identify and address the needs of Gloucester's older residents. We do that by providing an array of, educational, health, and recreational opportunities, and we provide those primarily at the Rose Baker Senior Center, which is kind of our flagship way of providing those things. We are also trying to make more of an outward-facing effort looking forward, and the pandemic forced that to some degree because we were closed for about almost a year and a half. Which was very difficult and made less difficult by having great partners like the Open Door.
Right, and that isolation must have been really hard for your
The social
community.
isolation
Yeah.
has been so hard for the seniors, so hard. So, but we are open now, and we're definitely providing all of those things, those health, recreational, and education opportunities. And our collaboration with the Open Door hits on all three of those. We're having, the mobile market is happening over at the Senior Center right now.
Oh, wow.
They come once a month.
The
and they-
farmer's truck that we're talking about.
we haven't seen the new farmer's truck
Oh,
yet.
okay.
We're still doing the mobile market at the senior center, kind of through an existing model that's been in place for a while.
Okay.
But I think we had about 80 seniors signed up this morning to come through, and we have a system in place so that they can come in at in a specified time window and they don't have to wait too long. But the Open Door brings the most beautiful array of food over there. Like, it's just amazing. One of my staff members who's not from Gloucester, who's from somewhere else over the bridge, she's just constantly amazed because her community doesn't seem to have, I think, something that is just quite that impressive because the food is beautiful and the seniors really need it. And because of the population we serve, and I think that there is still, unfortunately, a little bit of a social stigma associated with asking for help. So for older folks, that older population, it can be a little bit more so because they maybe come from an era where that stigma was a little bit more magnified. So some of the seniors in the community, they might not come to the Open Door. They might be hard for them to get past that.
Right.
But boy, they'll come down to the senior center and see their friends and get the mobile market. For years it was called the Mobile Market Brown Bag Program. So you might still hear it referred to that way. But that, provides healthy nutritious food. The Open Door comes down and does demonstrations sometimes, cooking and, how to cook nutritious food with some of the stuff that you can get from
that's
the Open
great.
Door. So they hit the educational aspect. And then the recreational part, a lot of times the seniors, especially coming out of the pandemic, and because we were closed for so long and they were so isolated, one of the most important things that we do is that we have a Thursday luncheon. We call that Rosie's Picnic Lunch, after, of course, Rose Baker. And the Open Door sends over these beautiful brown bag lunches. It's completely free. Seniors just need to call and sign up. And it's a beautiful brown bag lunch with a sandwich, a bag of chips, some kind of side that you'd want with a sandwich, like a potato salad or a coleslaw, some kind of fruit, a dessert. And they also bring over these, containers of freshly made soup that are just amazing.
Oh.
They always send over plenty, so if folks haven't signed up, we kind of pad the count a little bit. We tell them how many signups we have, but they send over plenty, so we've never had to turn anyone that might be there and say, oh, wow, I could, I could use a sandwich. We don't turn them away. And I think one of the funniest things that happens is sometimes we'll offer to somebody and they'll say maybe no thanks, but then they smell that soup. and I'll turn around. I know I just got a no thanks from that person, but I see them a minute later eating the soup. So, but the socialization that provides, just seeing the seniors, so that really is, that hits the recreational part of those three things I mentioned. Because just sitting and being able to just shoot the breeze over a meal, and they miss that so much. When we were closed, and I first came on board in the middle of the closure, one of the first things we did was institute some small group luncheons that we held over at Stage Fort Park. And I was with all the protocols in place. It could only be 15 people masked, everything. But even just that, because they had missed each other so much. I mean, people were crying, seeing each other, and that was, who provided the food for that.
The
Open Door, yeah.
Right.
Yeah, our collaboration with the Open Door has just been amazing in a million ways. Yeah.
So Heather, did Elise spark you there? Did she mention Rose Baker?
Yeah, she did. Yeah, we have this question right here. Actually, it's my question.
Yes.
Right? Who was Rose Baker?
Rose Baker was an incredibly fierce advocate for seniors. My experience with Rose Baker, kind of personally, is I didn't take the normal route to college. I kind of got out of high school and I worked as a secretary for the Cape Ann Chamber of Commerce for like 3 years, back when they still called us secretaries. And Rose used to come in sometimes, and boy, if there was something that she felt like, some way that the seniors weren't being served by the business community, and she saw that, rightfully so, as something that maybe should be taken up with the Chamber of Commerce, she would come in and just
I love that.
look out. I was like 18, 19 at the time, and I was just like, wow, this lady is a fierce advocate for senior citizens in the community, and she made things happen.
So what would the business community not be doing? What were they? What was she accusing them of?
I don't know. That was a long time ago. So that was when I was 18. Heather, which was a long time ago. But I can tell you that the impression that was left with me was just like, wow, Gloucester seniors are in good hands because this woman is really fighting for them. So it's absolutely appropriate that the Rose Baker Senior Center is named as it is.
That's great. And do you know what drove her? Did she have a wonderful grandmother? Did she have a wonderful mother? We're not sure.
I didn't have the opportunity to really get to know her that well to kind of see what it was that spurred that. But the sense I got was it was spurred maybe a little bit, at least a little bit, by just being pretty feisty.
Yeah.
Which I love. I love just feisty people. I think it's
Potential
awesome.
timeline right there.
Yeah, there you go. You got to work on that.
Yeah. So at least I want to know, why do you love your job so much? We've been talking to you over the years, and you're always so enthusiastic, and you're a walking encyclopedia too, which is great as well.
I don't know about the walking encyclopedia. There's some interesting stuff in that encyclopedia, but well, I love my community, So and I have worked with different organizations in the community, and I love the community. So when you're working to serve, I mean, and again, I think Adam touched on that. When you, especially when it comes around Thanksgiving time, to think about the fact that, like, I thought about it as I drove over here. How lucky am I to live here, to do what I do for a living, to be able to talk to folks like you, to collaborate with these great organizations. And I think especially during the closure, and still to be able to have that feeling of being useful in a time of crisis, it just feels deeply gratifying. And then there's the fact that I just get to walk through the senior center now that we are open. I get to see these, funny people. A lot of them are really cards, like they let me know if they're not happy with something, and it's open. It's always in a pretty, it's a pretty funny way.
We hope they're watching.
Yeah, we absolutely hope that they're watching. But it's great, and it's great to be able to satisfy that need. I mean, I've been brought to tears a few times, and I love the fact that at the senior center, and just what the Council on Aging addresses in general, senior center, and then maybe with some not senior center programs, is that we provide all those things that I mentioned. Recreational, educational, educational, recreational, and health opportunities, which also includes exercise instruction. So I get to hear music. We have line dancing going on. We've got bingo. But then we also have a great social work staff as well. I've got an outreach social worker and a social work, an outreach coordinator, and they're both trained social workers. And boy, for the stuff that come in and need to meet with them for some of those. If Maslow's hierarchy, right? Your needs, those very basic needs that they come up and they disclose. And right now, we hear from folks who are struggling with some depression and anxiety. They're having a hard time emerging from being inside because of COVID. And to be able to do that stuff that's really at that very important social services end of the spectrum. And also, and do that and do something really, talk to somebody about something literally as serious as cancer. I mean, we're talking to folks about really serious matters. We're helping hook them up with Shine Counseling right now, which is happening because of open enrollment for Medicare. They're getting to make good choices about, what kind of insurance plan to sign up for. That's incredibly critical. And then to do all that, and then I can wander down the hallway and go see the art program participants and what kind of art they're creating. We just had our kiln inspected so we can be firing pottery again. The seniors love making the bowls that they then contribute to the empty bowl supper. They feel so good about that. So then I could wander downstairs and talk to the knitters and crocheters, or maybe chit chat with the memoir writers group. And it's just so fun. And of course, bingo is always a hoot too. And looking forward at the new ways that we can expand our services is really exciting. I work with a great Council on Aging Board of Directors, headed by Fred Cowan, who Susan mentioned.
Yes.
And we also work with a great Friends organization. The Friends of the Gloucester Council on Aging is our support organization, and they were instrumental in that building, the senior center coming to be. And they continue to be instrumental in us being able to offer programs and keeping that building, improvements to the building. The new paint, I don't know if you guys remember, like last summer, when it went from the old paint color scheme to the new paint color, which I absolutely love. That was enabled by the Friends. It was a partnership by the Friends and by Gloucester's DPW, who came over and helped with that too. So just a lot of great partnerships. I get to work with a lot of really great people.
That's great to hear. Yeah, and the
it's
senior
like the heart
center
of Gloucester.
really
Yes.
is.
It really is.
Yeah, it's one of
Yes.
the jewels of the area.
Yeah, and Gloucester is the heart of my heart. I mean, I really do. I love this community. We're so blessed around here. We truly are.
True.
Elisa, folks want to learn more about the senior center. How can they go about doing that?
They can go about doing that best. We have a web page within the city's structure. So they can look on the Gloucester Council on Aging, but we're revamping that. It's not fantastic right now. So one of the best things they can do, our main kind of flagship communications vehicle, is our monthly newsletter. We send out a monthly hard copy newsletter to about 1,000 households, and that lets people know exactly what's going on at the senior center, down to the level of menus that are being served for food and every kind of exercise opportunity they can sign up for. So just give us a call at 978-325-5800 and just follow the prompts to get through to somebody and say, hey, I'd like to start getting that newsletter in the mail. We also send out an emailed version of the newsletter for our seniors who are tech savvy enough to be able to utilize email. And we've got about 1,600 email addresses on that. We get a pretty good open rate. We send those out with more information. So those are the two things. Give us a call and ask to get on those. And, and I think, I can't remember, like the nice lady from Element Care, whose name is escaping me.
Diane Wood.
There you go, thank you. Come in. If you've never come to the senior center before, and more seniors in the community haven't ever come to the senior center than have. I remember my mom always saying, I'd say, why don't you go down to the senior center? That looks fun. She'd say, why do I want to go there? It's all old people. She was 86. I didn't want to break it to you, Mom. But, so if you think it's just some boring place that just offers bingo, it is not.
Oh, no, there's all kinds of
we have a
stuff.
geology class being offered in December. We've got all kinds of programs down there. And if you've never come before, walk in and say, hey, is Elise the director around? Because I would love to show people around and welcome them there myself, especially if it is a newcomer. Because we do have our regulars, so sometimes to come in and see people who clearly all know each other, that can be a little bit intimidating. But it's a welcoming bunch. The staff's all very welcoming, and the seniors who are kind of the regulars, they're a welcoming bunch too. So yeah, just come on down.
They probably all went to elementary school together. A lot of them, right?
Some of them. The connections are just incredible. You always do the Gloucester thing, and like, who do you know, who you're related to?
right.
Da, da, da.
2 degrees of separation.
Oh my God, yeah, it's incredible. But just come on down. We are at 6 Manuel F. Lewis Street, in case people don't know where we are, which is right by the kind of the Walgreens and the Dunkin' Donuts Plaza. And we're pretty easy to find. The big, really pretty blue, kind of Tiffany blue colored building. Yeah.
It's beautifully put, Elise. Oh, thank you for your time and your service as always. It's great
Thank
seeing you again.
Great seeing both of you.
Thank you.
Happy
Coming back.
Thanksgiving.
Same
Yes,
to you.
yes. I look forward to the next time I see you. Yeah, and again, happy Thanksgiving.
Thanks,
Thank
Elise.
you. Take
Same
care.
to you. That is Elise Nagra from the Rosebega Senior Center. Awesome.
Oh, I love.
I think other than
Elise.
Bruce, she may have the most appearances on Cape Ann today.
I think you're right. That would be Bruce Tarr. It's just
Oh, yeah.
minority leader.
They know.
Yeah.
Bruce is Bruce. Yeah, Cape Ann today, Bruce, right?
Right, exactly.
Well, we're talking about all these great partnerships with the Open Door, all these different organizations. Here's an interesting one, though. Veterans Memorial Elementary School. And Principal Matt Fusco is about to join us. Come on in, Matt. How are you?
Hi, how are you?
Hey, thanks so much for being here
Meet
today.
you. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, how have you been?
I'm doing well. How about yourselves?
Great.
Great.
So
Big
yeah,
move. Big move.
Well,
How'd it go?
It went well, yes.
yeah.
We're doing good. We're settled into St. Anne's right now, and it's good. It's good. It's a pretty cool building, and kids complain about the stairs because veterans had no stairs.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's so funny.
Now we got a lot of
St.
floors
Anne's
to
is all
climb.
stairs, yeah.
It's all stairs. There's
Yeah.
a lot of stairs. I color-coded the stairs because I kept getting lost.
That's
It helps, yeah.
So does it feel spooky for the kids at all?
No,
You
they
know,
don't.
Inside?
No, they're not. They settled right in. They had it easier than the adults. We
Who
we
had
had
to go
a
up
harder
the
time
stairs.
of changing than they did. You know,
Yeah.
but they no, they like the building a lot. They love to go to Burnham's Field and play on the play structures there, and yeah, they're very resilient. So
Yeah.
holy cows right there.
and holy
Yeah,
cow,
right, right.
yeah, you know the
Yeah.
yellow sub, and yeah.
And you're so downtown now. I mean,
Yes.
before you were a little downtown, but now you are in the heart of.
Yeah, and it's
city.
been good. I got a lot of students that live around the area too. So a lot of kids just walk into school with their parents and by themselves, and so it's in some ways it's more of a neighborhood school than Vets was.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
It's interesting.
So excuse me, you'll be there for 2 years?
2 years, yeah. September 2023, we'll move into the new building.
Okay.
And have you been over to the other site now? that
Oh
the
yeah,
demos
I've been
happened?
there a bunch of times. And
Yeah.
at one point, when they were tearing down Veterans, only my office was like left standing.
I know. I noticed that.
It was just like a little box. I was like,
The Matt's not
wow.
in there, is it?
What does that mean? Yeah. So we had the groundbreaking ceremony mid-October, and they're starting to put the pylons in, and we're going to get cranking on it.
Excited?
Yeah, I'm very excited. It's a beautiful design.
How involved were you in the design?
A fair amount. Me and Miss Pasquarello worked closely with she's going to be the co-principal with me. She's from East Gloucester.
Oh, right.
And we actually had a lot of say in sort of the floor layout, more than I thought I would.
Yeah.
'Cause,
Nice.
I kept saying, I'm like, my wife doesn't let me make any decisions.
Yeah, right.
Why do I? Yeah, but we really think we've got a great plan. Teachers had a lot of input into it. So yeah, we're really happy with the design, the way it's going to
So what was like the top thing you wanted from that school?
Oh, I mean, I think, I wanted good flow between the classrooms at each grade level. So there's going to be 4 classrooms per grade level. And so the rooms are going to have there's going to be like breakout rooms built into each of those rooms. So kids can go into that to do small group work, folding walls, foldable walls, so there can be movement through the 2 classrooms, 4 classrooms. So it's, I just want more collaborative work. There's going to be an area on every floor that will be for breakout sessions too. It'll be like they're calling it the extended learning center. So it's going to be a lot of opportunity for collaboration and that type of thing.
Yeah. And speaking of collaborations, what is the school's relationship with the Open Door?
Okay, so Veterans has been working with the mobile market for, I've been there for 8 years, and it was prior to my coming there. So every Friday, pre-pandemic, the mobile market would show up in the gymnasium, and parents would come in and get what they needed for food, amazing food there. For me, it was a great resource for new families that were coming in. At Veterans, we've seen our English language learners population really explode over the last like five years. So they've had Spanish speakers with Open Doors, so that's been great. And I've been able to take new families and just say, look, here's this incredible resource. And I've been able to call Julie up. I've got a family that's in need right now. What can we do for them? So she's worked closely with me on several things. So they've been a great resource for us. Last year, after post-pandemic, we were able to get them to come to Vets and set up outside, and I'm looking forward to getting them setting up again.
Yeah, I was gonna say. So is that sort of suspended now that you're over at the new
Yeah, it's been
location?
suspended. I just got to get it set up.
Yeah.
But I think I've got some ideas where we can place them on a Friday afternoon. But it's really a great resource. People really use it. So
That's
it's been
great.
excellent. Yeah.
So, do you want to shift gears a little bit? I want to just see how the student body is adapting to, well, another year
Yes.
of the pandemic, right?
Right,
How
right.
has staff and the student body been adapting with that? this
Yeah,
time around?
we've been doing really good, I think. The kids they're kind of done, but they handle the mask wearing really, really well. Prior to them coming back last September, a year ago September, I had concocted all these, I was like, I'm gonna have problems with kids not wearing their masks. What are we gonna do? And they really stepped up. Real champs with it. And so far, we've been doing really well. We're adhering to social distancing, still doing all our protocols. I've got a fantastic nurse, Miss Huey, so I have to give her a shout out. And she is really make sure we stick to our protocols, and parents have been great about calling in if their child's not feeling well, letting us know what's going on, getting their COVID testing done. It's really the key to keeping us in business. So I think it's really been, the upside of it is that we've really been able to work as a team, parents, students, staff, to make sure we're keeping ahead of it. And then just trying to keep moving forward as well.
But there hasn't been any backsliding, right? Or any worry about backsliding?
Well, I think, it's been interesting watching kids interacting with each other now that we're back full time. Kids coming off of remote for a year. So they're learning how to get along with each other, and we're helping them through that. And we were able to stay in school every day last year, which I think was huge. So we haven't seen what I've been reading nationally. I feel like we're in fairly good shape with keeping kids at grade level and moving through.
So during the election season, the school committee candidates talked a lot about absenteeism. So now you have you're in the elementary school kids, so what are you seeing in that issue?
So absenteeism is something that we work with every day. There's just a variety of reasons why kids aren't coming to school. It could be school phobia, it could be anxiety, it can be different cultural feelings towards school, and that. So we try to attack it on every level.
And is it on the rise? Do you feel like it's gotten worse since COVID?
It's hard because we want people to stay home if their children are sick too.
Yeah.
So, we try to balance that. So, testing can take a while. Sometimes people can be waiting for tests to come back. So we do the best we can to keep people informed and keep their kids learning.
Right, exactly.
So it's, I guess it's sort of gotten a little worse, but I think that we've got some really great strategies that we're working on to keep kids coming into school. So
That's great.
Yeah.
That's great.
Is hybrid learning still an option?
no, it's
Okay.
not. So we're full in, and no, we've stopped the hybrid and the remote academies.
Yeah.
Yep.
And how about the staff and how they've navigated through all
Yes.
this? What's morale like?
Morale's good. I mean, I hope it's good. I think last year we were able to pull together like a team like never before. It was really amazing what we were able to do as a staff. I think staying in school every day was nothing short of, a pretty,
That's
probably
miraculous,
one of the proudest thing I am in my career as principal is that we were able to do that. So the staff, I think, like all of us, there's a little bit of fatigue there. But we know we have a super important job ahead of us. And, so there's always that commitment to being there for these kids who really need us.
And did the staff feel comfortable it's a pretty antiquated building.
Yeah.
Did they update it with all sorts of COVID ventilation and things like that?
We got air purifiers for every room.
Mm-hmm.
You know, big windows that we can open
Well,
up.
that's true, that's
Yeah,
good.
big
yeah.
big windows,
Yeah.
and
New schools don't have that. so-
yes, and a pretty good heating system, I must say. The steam heat when it gets cranking, so you can have windows open and have heat
Yeah.
in there.
And they are being washed over, Heather. It is saying-
Yes,
That's true.
that's true.
Maybe you don't want to leave.
That's right. Yeah, yeah. And you know, so I think they worked all last year, and I think they've got a level of comfort
Right.
in that, and of course vaccinations and that. So they're I think they're pretty good. They're pretty comfortable with working in that environment. You know, we've got, like I said, we've got really good protocols set up that we try to work with.
Well, we're all working to get on the other side of this thing, too.
Yes.
But then also you are looking forward to 2 years from now.
Yes.
So that's going to be great
Yeah.
to be able to have that light down the
Yes,
end of that tunnel.
I just can't wait. I can't.
Yeah, it's going to be wonderful.
Yes.
So those the kindergartners will have a great, a long experience in the new school.
Yes, they'll be second graders when they get over
Yeah.
to the new building. So
Right,
so
that's
it's
fun.
good. Yeah.
So, Matt, if people want to learn more about the veterans, how can
Yes.
they go about doing that?
Well, they could always check out our website as part of the Gloucester Public Schools website. You can look at that. We're in the process of updating it right now, so give me a couple of days. But we're sort of revamping the websites right now.
Yeah.
Is
And,
everybody working on their holiday, shows and
Yes,
things
we're
like
gonna
that?
have our holiday show outside in the big parking area that's gated in. So I've never done anything like that before, so we're excited about it. So
Very cool.
I asked Father Jim if he could pray for a light snowfall as the
That would
holiday
be
show
so
went on. It'd be
nice.
Beautiful.
very
Yeah.
like a Dickens novel.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Well, I love driving down that street and seeing those kids out there at
yes,
recess.
it's really great. I hear that from the neighbors too, that they're happy to hear the kids out running around.
Yeah, that's how it always was growing up.
Right.
You
Yeah.
know, I was doing that, and then Sunday school at night, the place was crazy, and Holy Cow was always there. And
Yeah.
yeah. Stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, Matt, we really appreciate your
Thank
time,
you.
and thank you for your service and all the work
I
that the
appreciate
school's done to help the kids navigate through a real tough couple of years here.
Yeah.
And we would love to do one of these shows at Veterans, whether it's at St. Anne's or the new building.
Absolutely.
very cool.
Always, that would be fantastic.
Yeah.
We'd
Talk
love
to the
that.
kids because the kids are really, they're really neat.
Yeah,
That
we love
would be
that.
fun.
You-
That would
they
be really fun.
They'd give you plenty of good quotes.
Okay, we love that.
Well, thank you for your time, and
Thank
have a great
you.
All
All right, thanks. Happy
Awesome.
Thanksgiving
Thank
as well.
Thank you. That is Matt Fusco. He is the principal over at Veterans Memorial School. That was great.
That was so interesting.
Yeah. All right, so Julie, come back on. This is Julie Lafontaine, of course, the executive director of the Open Door. We've been at the Open Door all day long, celebrating the Thanksgiving season, really celebrating the partnerships amongst all these important nonprofits in the community too, centered around the Open Door as well. So we just want to thank you again, Julie, for your hospitality today. We
thank
know it's a
you.
busy time. So we just want to reiterate now the holiday gift baskets and tomorrow's cereal drive once again.
Both things. And then I think just really important for those who are listening, if you need help putting Thanksgiving on the table this year, it's not too late. You can sign right up at foodpantry.org. We'll be giving out turkeys until we close the doors on Wednesday night. So it's not too late. You can definitely still sign up.
Beautiful. And then tomorrow all day we're at Shaw's on Eastern Ave, Stop and Shop, Market Basket, 9 to 3 now for a cereal drive.
All in Gloucester,
Right,
yes.
Crosby's in Manchester.
Yeah.
And then Market Basket in Ipswich and Rowley.
Market Basket in Rowley and Shaw's in Ipswich.
Shaw's in Ipswich,
Yes,
gotcha, perfect,
yeah. So
beautiful.
with some great community partners.
Yeah. So, Julie, how about a shout out to the volunteers and staff at the Open Door? Because we know this is a crazy time here. And you guys just come through with flying colors all the time and time again. You're there for the community.
Well, volunteers really are the muscle that make this all happen. People who have time, they have a little time, they have a lot of time, they come forward, and the Open Door becomes an intersection of people's desire to serve and serving the community. And so we love our volunteers. Huge shout out to our volunteers. Yay, volunteers, we couldn't do it without you.
Yeah, that's great. Beautiful stuff.
Well, as a food writer, I always say that the Open Door is the best food story there is. So thanks for all you do.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Well, have a great Thanksgiving, Julie. We really appreciate your time and again the hospitality here too. And let's do this again next year. you know? But I would actually like to do something from that giant truck at some point too.
Wouldn't that be
I'd
fun?
like to drive around
Yeah.
on that thing for a little while.
Yeah, well, let's put a pin in that, because there'll be lots of opportunity once we get the route up and going. There'll be
Yeah.
an opportunity for you to do that. And I would just like to close myself out by saying, you know, it was Theodore Roosevelt who talked about the people, those who are in the arena. And so from our elected officials to our first responders, the hospitals, the schools, all of the organizations that serve this community, and every person who makes up the community, we're just so happy that they're in the arena. We're all together, and we are daring greatly.
Beautifully
Very
put.
greatly, nice. Thank you so much.
Yeah, the more we do these shows, Heather, it's just so happy to be part of such a special place.
It's true.
And the more you get to know people like Julie and our entire guest list today, and just seeing how everyone is just helping everyone else, you know, get through just the day-to-day thing here. It's not easy for most people, and it's great to know that there are so many others out there willing to help.
But it also, I think this show really reflects the joy it gives those leaders, the people in these positions. Everyone seems to just love their job.
Great point. Yeah. Thanks again, Julie.
Great, thank you very much.
Have a happy Thanksgiving.
You too.
And same to you, Heather, while we're here.
You too, Kory. Yeah.
Yeah,
I hope your turkey is big and well cooked.
I'm easy. Or a
roasted.
turkey sub, a yellow sub's fine by me too. I'm easy that way.
Okay,
Yeah.
yeah.
All right, we want to thank all of our guests today. Julie Lafontaine of the Open Door, Diane Wood of Element Care, Adam Curcuru from the Cape Ann Veterans Center, Susan Coviela of North Shore Health Project, Elise Sinagra of Rose Baker Senior Center, and Matt Fusco of Veterans Memorial School. We have to thank our crew, of course,
Our great
as
crew,
always, on camera,
yeah.
David Lufkin, floor manager, Alana Horn, production manager, Becky Coyle, technical director, Matt McMakin, digital director, Kyle Davey, and executive director, Eric Archer. Our next show is going to be Friday, December 3rd, at Cape Ann. This is the new location now at the Gloucester houses. They're redoing everything there. I can tell you now, there is a big bar right down the hall from the cupcakes. So,
Yeah, but the cupcakes are there too, and the Queen Amman, and the cookies, and excellent coffee.
yeah, we're looking forward to that. And then Friday, December 10th, we will be at the Beauport Hotel for a special holiday show. I can't wait to get there. And then we will end our season Friday, December 17th at Cape Ann Animalade over at Four Paws Lane in West Gloucester. So there is that.
Lots to look forward to.
Yeah. Okay, folks, have a great weekend. We will see you next time. And if we don't see you before then, happy Thanksgiving.